I, 44 female, have 2 children, twin boys, with my ex-husband 46. He cheated on me with his affair partner and they had 2 children, a female kindergartner and a male 1 year older. He ended up marrying her. Despite all this, my ex and I decided to be civil to one another for the kids' sake. We agreed that I had the kids during the weekdays and he had them on the weekends. It worked reasonably well. He would often bring his other children when picking up our sons. They were good kids. His wife hardly spoke to me, but she was civil and good to my children, which was good enough for me. Last year, his wife died suddenly. My ex went into depression. My sons were worried about their siblings, so I spoke to my ex and he said they were fine. My son asked if they could have their siblings stay over, and after asking my ex, he was okay with it. This started happening often, and it did give my ex time to get help with his depression. When I felt he was doing better, I started encouraging him to be with his children more, as I noticed his children were getting attached to me, which he did. But his children kept asking for their siblings and wanting to return to my house. My ex suggested we take them out on weekends together, which I shouldn't have agreed to now that I think about it. Now I've got a job offer with better pay. I decided to take it, but it would mean I had to move to the other side of the country. I told my sons and they said they would miss their siblings and dad, but were excited about the move and change. They told my ex and he got very upset with me. He rang me and said I can't take his sons away. I said we could come to visit when I visited my parents, but he wasn't listening and said his kids were going to be upset. I said I'm sorry about that, but he must deal with it. He called me cruel and heartless and then hung up on me. That day, his parents called me and said I was selfish to take away the boys and that ex's other kids need a mother figure in their lives. I told them I wasn't their mother and they said they'd been watching me with them and said I was doing everything a mother does for children. Then they threatened to take me to court for the boys if I went. Since then, I've had his family text and ring me saying I was selfish and cruel and that I needed to step up. I feel so guilty. Am I the idiot for refusing to help my ex-husband raise his kids after his wife died? I'm not sure, but can you legally take your kids across the country and away from their father? Is your parenting agreement for your 2 kids part of the divorce settlement? OP, you need a lawyer well-versed in family law to determine the rules for moving so far away. Make sure you do everything in line with the law. That said, you are not responsible for your ex's other kids. This is for him to sort out. Not the idiot, as long as you do everything by the book. I am legally able to move without my ex's permission because I have full custody. We agreed to him seeing them on weekends outside of court, so legally I can move without his consent. His parents threatened to take me to court to try and get back custody. Oh Lord, I suspect your ex uses you as a backup wife and mom to his kids, and that is something he and his family must figure out, not you. You need to not have any contact with his family at this point. His parents have threatened to take you to court. Their contact with you should now only be through attorneys. Your ex is responsible for his other children. Asking you to be anything to them is a slap in the face. Agreed, his kids from the affair are not your responsibility. And where was this so-called family of his when he was depressed? His relatives need to step up instead of bothering you. The audacity of expecting you to parent the kids from his affair because it's convenient for them is gross. He's your ex for a reason. Your life isn't on hold for him. His parents don't run your life. Those other 2 kids of his are not your problem either. It's nice of you to do what you've already done. His parents can get more involved if they're so worried about it and help him with his mental health for the sake of the 2 kids he has. Hoping the new job and new start bring you satisfaction and joy. I, 34 female, have recently encountered a situation with my husband, 37, and I'm curious whether I'm the idiot here or not. So my husband and I have been together for 8 years and married for 7. When I got married, my mother came to me privately and talked about setting aside money as a rainy day escape fund if worse came to worse. My husband has never shown any signs of being dangerous and rarely even gets upset, but the way my mother talked about it, it seemed like a no-brainer to have. When my husband and I got together, we agreed I'd be a stay-at-home wife. We're both child-free, so that was never a concern. My husband made a comfortable mid-6-figure salary. It was all good until about 2 years ago he was injured at work in a near-fatal accident. Between hospital bills and a lawsuit that we lost, that ate up nearly all of our savings. I took a part-time job while my husband was recovering, but when he was fully recovered, we transitioned back to me being unemployed as my husband insisted that it was his role to provide. He's currently working 2 full-time jobs and Uber on his days off to keep us afloat. Here is where I might be the idiot. I manage all the expenses and have continued putting money into my escape account, although I significantly decreased from $750 to just $200 a month. My husband came home exhausted one night and asked about downsizing because the stress of work would kill him. I told him downsizing would not be an option as I'd spent years making our house a home, so I wasn't moving, but I offered to go back to work. He tried to be nice but basically told me that my going back to work wouldn't make enough. After an argument, my husband reviewed our finances to see where we could cut back. He was confused when he saw I had regular reoccurring withdrawals leading back years and asked me about it. I broke down and revealed my money to him, which was about $47,000. After I told him all this, he just broke down sobbing. His point of view is I treated him like a predator and hid money from him for years, even when he was at his lowest. I told him the money was a precaution I would have taken with any partner and not specific to him. He left the house to stay with his brother and said I hurt him on every possible level. But my mom says this is exactly what the money is for and should bail now. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. I can't even believe you're questioning it. You're also a thief and a user. He nearly died in an accident. He's working several jobs and he wants to downsize, considering he's covering everything alone. Meanwhile, you've siphoned $47,000 out of him to squirrel away. Lady, what kind of monster are you? I'm not sure I understand why she'd think this money was fully hers. It was amassed during the marriage. He broke down crying because he was exhausted, and you still didn't tell him. You refused to downsize as you've worked hard to make a home. You didn't work 3 damn jobs though, did you? If you don't want to leave the house, figure out how the $47,000 can help you stay and allow your husband to at least quit the Uber gig. Geez, you and your mother are awful people. $750 each month, you damn thief. I hope he divorces you. I can see having a fund of $5,000 to $10,000, but anything more than that is ridiculous. And without investing it, she actually lost money. However, everyone's the idiot here. The husband is a dumb idiot. What possible reason is there to have someone sit on their butt all day at home when you don't have kids? Absent kids, there really isn't that much housework to do unless you go all out and make home-cooked meals from scratch, 3 meals a day, etc., etc. OMG, he's struggling because she took all his money in case she had to leave him. I, male 26, live with my friend, male 26, and we're roommates. Last year, his girlfriend, 24, moved in with us. During this time, she and I have also become good friends. The 3 of us have a good friendship and we don't have major issues with our living situation. So the thing is that she's pregnant now. She's 7 months along. She had a baby shower yesterday. Last week I went to a baby store to buy a gift for the baby. There were a lot of cute clothes and things, not just for babies but also maternity clothes and pillows and stuff like that. So I bought a gift for the baby and I saw a cute pink nightie with some lace around the edges, you know. I thought it was cute because in the front it was a drawing of a baby sleeping on a cloud and said, "Shh, baby's sleeping." I don't know, I saw it and I thought it was something cute, so I bought that as well to gift it to her. I gave it to her at the baby shower. It wasn't a big deal. She joked about modelling the pyjama for me the next morning when she was making cereal for breakfast. At the time, my friend laughed as well and he also agreed that the drawing was cute. However, yesterday, he told me I was kind of off for gifting his girlfriend slinky lingerie. I mean, the dress has some lace on it and it's short, but that's not why I bought it. I got it for her because I thought it was cute. He said that was fair, but that it was weird that it had such a deep neckline, like I wanted to see her breasts. I told him what the lady at the store told me, that it was like that to make breastfeeding more accessible. Still, he was upset and told me that I was overstepping boundaries. He was upset with me. My theory is that someone else, perhaps someone from his family, may have told him something like implied that I'm trying to steal his girl, but almost everyone is saying that I'm in the wrong here. Is that so? I'm going with not the idiot because I think it's crazy that something with a picture of a baby on it could be considered racy. Honestly, it's obvious it's just a silly little gift, almost a gag, and it doesn't seem like the girlfriend was uncomfortable either. I think the boyfriend may get jealous of your friendship with his girlfriend. I'll admit her little "I'll model it for you" comment would have made me uncomfortable if I were the boyfriend. I'm going to go against the grain and say no one is an idiot here. It's not like you went out and bought her Victoria's Secret baby dolls. You added a gift for the mom to your baby shower gift. I asked my husband for his input and he agreed it was kind of weird until the context was revealed and you bought her a gift to help with those very hard first few months of PB. I don't think you're the idiot at all. I think you did something you thought was kind for someone you considered a friend. The girlfriend is an idiot. Offering to model the outfit off was inappropriate. OP, I understand why your friend is upset. That was a bit too intimate. A t-shirt design would have been more appropriate. So yeah, your intentions were probably good, but you made a misjudgment. Now you know better. If I were you, I'd apologize and explain you didn't understand why that gift was inappropriate, but you get it now after giving it some thought and hearing other people's perspectives. Seriously? It's a postpartum nightgown made for easy breastfeeding with a cartoon baby on the front that looks about knee length. People are acting like OP bought her a corset and matching string. I'll model it for you does not necessarily mean anything. It can also be like, LOL, wait until you see me wear this silly thing. Imagine having this much insecurity over a friendly joke. So I, a 30-year-old male, come from a well-off family, but my dad always taught me to work hard and have class. When I was 14, I started working at my dad's company part-time to earn my allowance, and when I turned 16, I became a full-time employee. My dad decided to retire when I was 29 and handed the business to me. Back in my second year of uni, I met Kim, a 20 male at the time, 29 now. We were in the same course and ended up in the same group for a group project. Near the beginning of the year, we had a similar sense of humour and clicked as friends quickly. One day he mentioned he loves to cook and I told him we should cook together because I love to cook too. We went to his place that weekend, brought some ingredients and cooked together. This then became us going shopping for ingredients after classes on Friday. I'd stay at his place the night and we would cook on the weekend, and this became our weekly routine. Back then, I just told others that we were just friends, but with hindsight, that's when I started to fall for him. I finally asked him out a few months later, and he said yes. We lived in the same house with 2 other friends in our 3rd year, and I asked him to move in with me after we graduated. From the beginning, I told him that I wouldn't care if he didn't work, but he insisted he wanted to contribute financially. But after about a year, I had to make him stop due to the differences in our incomes. He was working himself half to death and was getting ill trying to contribute enough. I sat him down and told him that whatever money he made didn't matter and that if he wanted to work, I wanted him to be happy. He cut back his hours, then moved to part-time, then decided to quit and work on his projects, but he insisted I let him take on some of the housework. Now, onto the issue. My sister, 32, and her partner, 31 male, both work, and he also makes significantly less than her. And in private to me, she's made it known that she resents being the breadwinner. She sees all her male colleagues spoil and treat their wives and wishes her partner would do the same. He does, but not to the same level due to the fact that he makes half as much as they do. Recently, I was talking to her about what I would get Kim for his birthday next month. She kept telling me my ideas were too much and that I should get something cheaper since he doesn't contribute. I got a bit annoyed because I told her about Kim's insecurities of not making or being enough. I told her he contributes more than enough. She then called him a glorified gold digger and I yelled at her, telling her to shut up and not talk about Kim that way. After calming down, I do feel bad. I know how she feels about her own financial position, but I don't think it's fair that she takes it out on Kim or me, especially if Kim wasn't physically there. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister is projecting her frustrations and insecurities onto you and Kim. If your relationship with Kim works for you and him, sis needs to butt out. She clearly wants something else, like big, expensive gifts. She should be happy her husband is getting her gifts or flowers because not all husbands do that. He does what he can afford to. He doesn't get the Hope Diamond if he can't afford it. But she's the breadwinner in her relationship. I think she wanted to be the gold digger but somehow ended up in a relationship where her man makes half as much as she does. She's absolutely jealous that OP's partner gets to live out his best life while OP spoils him when he can. OP, your sister cares too much about money status and other people's perceptions. That is her problem. She's the idiot in this. If you're happy, she should be happy for you. Her issues and insecurities shouldn't be put on your relationship. I have a stepdaughter teen with my new husband and a daughter tween with my ex who left me. My daughter adores her stepsister, but she doesn't like her back, which we understand. We planned a family vacation last summer, but we ended up having to cancel it because my stepdaughter didn't want to go on a trip with her sister and me. I ended up doing a trip with my daughter, and my husband did one with his. This year we decided to go on a family vacation too, but this time my daughter wanted a trip with both of us, but not her stepsister because, according to her, She is an annoying little brat and will ruin the trip. My daughter started to cry, and my stepdaughter told my daughter, "Go ask your own dad." "Oh wait, he left you." I was shocked and told her that we wouldn't be taking her on a vacation without my daughter, but my husband wanted me to tell my daughter that life is unfair and leave her at her grandparents' house while we went on the vacation with my stepdaughter. My husband says it'll cost extra money to get my daughter her own room, an extra cost to take her on the trip, and he said he'd rather spend that money on making the trip more memorable for his daughter. I'm honestly appalled at how much my husband favours his daughter. That day we had a massive argument, and he accused me of not letting a teenager have a nice vacation without an annoying child. Am I the idiot? Your response should have been, tell your brat of a teenager that life is unfair and she can stay with her grandparents so you can make memories with your daughter. The fact that you've let this behaviour go on for so long, not just by your stepdaughter but also by your husband, makes you the idiot. You need to start thinking about your kid and end this marriage. Exactly. How OP responds now is going to colour how her daughter views her for the rest of their lives. At the minimum, OP needs to draw a very clear line in the sand with her husband and explain that what he said is entirely unacceptable. Really, OP needs to just end her. She deserves a better family.